Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Hello, friends. We are live. It's Hy-Vee Today Show. This is Tony Tone for the 23rd day of July. Can you believe it? As I've said time and time again, this month is just flying by. It seemed like it was just 4th of July a couple of days ago, and here we are getting ready to almost wrap up the month. It's just wild. I'm going to mention a couple of things briefly. We'll start with just a look at the Lutheran Living Senior Campus weather forecast. Today, partly cloudy, 83, so not too hot. Maybe the humidity will creep in. Tonight's low is 66, and then tomorrow, kicking off the weekend, we'll have, well, it says very humid and a chance for an afternoon thunderstorm, which we don't want to have happen, of course. Tomorrow's high 87. Again, it's Iowa. It's July. We're prepared for anything. It snowed on Halloween. So at this point, I don't know what could happen weather-wise that would catch us by surprise, right? I really feel like we've been through a lot. So let's be okay, because before you know it, we'll be talking about snow. I don't want to say it too loud, but it's the reality of where we're at. Let me just mention, Chad, this painting of the Rose Bowl bowling alley parking lot, because I love when good things happen in this town. This is yesterday afternoon, Rose Bowl bowling alley, Grandview Avenue, a group of young people getting together to paint the parking lot pink for breast cancer awareness. This is fantastic. So Kathy Ribink shared these photos along with the Rose Bowl bowling alley. Kathy has been a big proponent for breast cancer awareness. We certainly have a lot of folks in our community that are affected by it. And I love this idea. I think the Rose Bowl bowling alley is getting ready to reopen this coming Monday. So this is just great. Kathy had reached out to me to let me know this was happening. I didn't remember the date. And then I saw the pictures last night and I thought, well, we have to show these, because what an awesome group getting together, volunteering their time to paint the entire Rose Bowl parking lot. I mean, look at that. Like, that's just great. Young people getting behind a good cause, helping raise awareness and funds for breast cancer, and understanding that it does impact people in our own community is great to see. And there's Kathy right there. So we'll probably have Kathy on the show. We're kind of booked up, which is next week, Kathy. Well, I promise. But I wanted to show these because it is important to mention that. All right, so great job by them, and we'll talk to Kathy soon. Okay, so I wore my purple shirt for a reason, right? I almost wore it yesterday, and then I thought, wait a minute. On Thursday, I get to sit down with the new superintendent for the Muscatine Community School District, Mr. Clint Christopher. I'm wearing the purple Hy-Vee shirt. We got these because it's musky purple, and then Clint walks in, and he's got the purple tie on.
It's on.
We coordinated this, didn't we?
That's right.
So it's great to have you here.
Thank
you for your time and for coming in. I was excited several months ago, Clint. I was asked to sit in what was called the parent stakeholder several hours at the community school district office on Mulberry, and we got to interview and talk with potential candidates for the next superintendent. You were one of them, and at the end of it, they asked us for a top 3, and I was like, well, Clint Christopher is number 1 for me. And I thought, we'll see, I didn't make the decision, but when I heard it was you, I was thrilled, and I'm so happy to have you and your family in town. I wonder if we can just start with maybe a little bit on your background. I know that there's been some coverage, but for the folks that are going to see this, can you tell us where you've been and how long you've been in education?
Sure. So actually, I grew up in Eldridge, and so know the area and the community. Graduated from North Scott many years ago. My wife and her family is all from Rock Island. So was able to come back, and I taught at North Scott for about 7 years at the elementary level. Did a lot of coaching there with football, wrestling, and track. And just had some great opportunities. And from there, we moved over to Moline, and I was in the Moline schools for 10 years. Awesome. 2 years as an elementary principal, and then I was a director of curriculum and technology, as well as assistant superintendent.
Awesome.
And then from there, we made the big jump to Minnesota and moved up to a southwest suburb. It's eastern Carver County, which is composed of 4 different cities. The two of the major ones, Chaska and Chanhassen. Chanhassen is where the Paisley Palace was there.
Yeah.
So, we got to drive by that a lot. And then also Chaska is known for the Hazeltine National Golf Course, which hosted the Ryder Cup.
Right.
So we were there 6 years, 3 years as associate superintendent and 3 years as superintendent. And one unique thing with our family is we have a daughter with some special needs and challenges, and so moving away from family was really kind of difficult, and just in terms of having that support network. And so a lot of great opportunities in Minnesota, great people, and had some great experiences. But even as we transitioned up there away from family, began to talk even early on, like if the right opportunity opens up, let's look at maybe coming back. And so it just worked out that Muscatine had an opening this year, and we're able to put throw our name in the hat, and now we're here. It seems like a long time ago.
I was going to say, it does seem like, because right when those conversations, those meetings were happening, the pandemic hadn't really started. I mean, I guess it was a thing, but not localized.
Yep.
So you're doing that process while also still in your role as superintendent in Minnesota, and then you have to go back, and then the pandemic starts to break out really. I remember it well, Friday, March 13th, here, what that looked like in a retail setting. Tough decisions for folks like yourself across the country with respects to what do we do. Nobody's ever had to navigate a pandemic and then think about our kids, but then also your staff and the paraeducators and everybody, people driving a school bus, people working to keep schools clean. Talk about that, because you can plan, but when a pandemic starts, you have to adapt quickly. Yep. And I hope that that's what people take away from this conversation, is that willingness to say, hey, we may have plans in place, but we also have to be prepared for things to potentially change. But how did you navigate that in your role as superintendent when things started to break and you thought, okay, we may have to look at closing down school for the rest of the year?
Well, and again, I would say the pandemic, this event is a community event, not isolated to schools or to hospitals, or and so it is kind of all hands on deck with this. Minnesota, we had, and every state kind of handled it a little bit differently. We were given basically 2 weeks to say we're going to shut down for 2 weeks. In that time, and that was right around spring break for most districts.
Sure.
And so the order was figure out how to do online learning in that time.
Right.
And so one of the things I've been really impressed with here and in Minnesota is the staff, the teachers, administrators, parents really rallied around that. And so we changed an educational model in a matter of weeks.
It's unbelievable.
And again, that was a required model there, so it was, we have to meet the needs of all kids, and how are we going to do that, and what's that going to look like? And again, no one is trained in this, and so there are things we learned through the process, and not everything is a success, and it's a continuous improvement process.
Sure.
And I think probably, and then right after that for Iowa was when the governor required a return to learn plan. How are you going to bring kids back? And it was an optional online program here.
Sure.
So a little bit different setup, and I think the challenge as a superintendent transitioning between two districts, especially in these given times, is we were doing a lot of work to get through online learning or distance learning last spring, but also starting to look, change that lens to what's the fall going to look like.
Right.
And at the same time, that work started happening here.
Sure.
And these are big decisions, right, that are going to impact a lot of people. And so you kind of get in that weird balance of, should I be making this decision for the district in Minnesota?
Right.
And how that all works. But again, people were just really pulled together. I think we had looking at the models there and looking at the models here, they're not all that different.
Sure.
And I think you'll hear that pretty much anywhere. You're talking about a full face-to-face return with some modifications. You're talking about a hybrid model, which means not all the kids are going to school on the same day or at the exact same time, and then the full online model.
Right.
And so I think again, in Minnesota, they're working on those 3 options, and we're working on those 3 here.
So, yeah, and that seems to be the case, right? So we have a fantastic school board and a lot of new faces on the school board, but certainly not new to the community, right? And I invited all the candidates on this show, and we talked to all of them because I have 3 kids, 2 in the district, soon to be 3rd grader, kindergartner, and then my daughter will be 2 in October. So I'm super invested, right, in setting our kids up for success. That's what we all want. And again, nobody is thinking to themselves, this pandemic's been fantastic, right? Nobody can sit here and say that kids are creatures of habit, Clint. We know this. They need routine. They need structure. Teachers, I have a great story. One of my coworkers here, Phil Schlesman, his wife Gina is a fantastic teacher at Grant. And she was, on one of his days off, she was like, you got to get out of the house. I got to do all these videos for the kids. You're distracting me. So these teachers never stopped working. And I hope that people understand that just because school was out, they were still working. They still had their contracted dates. They're doing things behind the scenes. A lot of the schools now are inviting parents in to come get stuff that was left behind. Those educators have been there, and I bet you've experienced that in the short time that you've been here, how committed they are. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Return to Learn plan locally. So we're sitting here on July 23rd, and I don't expect you, it's not realistic for me to say, Mr. Christopher, what's the answer? Because I understand that a plan today could change tomorrow, could change in a month.
Sure.
So what are you thinking and the board thinking? We have to have options probably. I know that Governor Reynolds also just said recently schools need to go back, so that can kind of cause things to be a little bit harder if you had a plan in place and then that proclamation comes out. But we've all been adapting, as you noted. But what do we look like for Muscatine today? Because it could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
I understand that. How are we looking?
Absolutely. Great question. I know the sooner we can get that information out to people, the better. And there's a lot of details behind that. How's lunch going to work? And how's, the bus schedule going to work? There's all those things we have to work out the details, and that may change as we go along. But I want to be real clear. I believe, and I know our team believes, that the best place for learning for students is in school with our staff, right? And that being said, as we think about our school buildings, although they're made for our students,
Sure.
they're comprised of people of all ages.
Yep.
And so I think it's easy to bring kids back to school. I think it's hard to keep them in school.
Sure.
Right? And so as we look at that plan and how that's going to function, we're right now, again, our focus is on bringing kids back and how we can do that safely for our students, for our staff, and for the community. And then working very closely with our local public health officials, Christy Roby-Williams and her staff, they've been phenomenal. And one of the concerns right now, and this is a concern everywhere, as those numbers rise.
Sure.
And what is that going to impact? So what we plan on today may change before school happens, and as we move into school, we may have to be very fluid as we move through the year. So, it's building a plan that's flexible, it's communicating, it's getting input. It's not necessarily my decision alone to say, here's what we're doing.
Right.
Again, it's working with our health officials at the state level and locally here to make the very best decisions possible.
It's exactly one of the qualities that I identified several months ago, collaborative. I think I wrote that down when you were talking about yourself and your experience. That's what we need. I don't think people want a superintendent to say, this is what we're going to do, I know best. You've got a great school board. You've got tremendous support from public health. Christy and her team are awesome. Yep. You're right. And it shouldn't be, and also you shouldn't have to shoulder that responsibility. That's why we have school boards. That's why we have fantastic principals and educators and people at the administrative offices. So as of today, are we on track for that Monday, August 24th? Is that what? And I know there's not a definite answer.
I would put an asterisk by on track because there's a lot of unknowns.
Sure.
Obviously, as you mentioned, with Governor Reynolds' announcement last week, threw a wrench in a lot of plans across the state. And I don't know that it really threw us off a lot, but it posed a lot of questions that still need to be defined.
Sure.
There was some conversation from the governor about what happens if a student contracts COVID-19. What happens if a staff contracts that? How do we deal with that? Can we close a classroom? Can we close a grade level? Can we close a school, a district, and so on? And so we've got to work through that. I know Christy and her team is waiting for guidance from the state on how they work together with us and state officials. And we know that the state's going to release more guidance on August 1st.
Okay.
Again, the problem with that is the closer we get to that 24th, right now, as we think about face-to-face, it's face-to-face, but there's an option for parents who say, I'm high risk, or I have family high risk, or I have children that are high risk. I don't feel safe sending my students back. And we're going to provide for them, right? And we need to do the same thing for some of our staff. So again, as those details come out, we have to think about staffing, we have to think about transportation and all of those things. And so again, there's a lot of work yet to be done by August 24th. So again, I know from my standpoint, from a district standpoint, the sooner we can have clarity from the state on some of those things and answer some of those questions, the sooner we can finalize plans and then continue to monitor and adjust as we move forward.
I feel like the district has done a good job. And again, I understand people watching that are like, I just want to know. Right, I do too. But there's no yes or no, and this is when yet. And you can sit there and armchair quarterback it and say, well, this started in March, we should know. But it's changed. How many times have things changed? Every day, right? And then to your point, when you get directions from the state that you have to follow or adapt to, you have to consider the amount of kids that are bused and what does busing look like. There's all these moving parts. So I understand the folks that are watching and wanting to know, my kid's going to go or they're not going to go, and when. But you have to also have the grace and the patience to understand that the superintendent just told you he wants to be able to give you an answer, right? But we're not there yet. We're close. The school board's done a fantastic job. If you've watched any of their meetings, the one was like 3.5 hours long, and there are plans that were presented, and just like all of us, things have continued to change. So I'm confident that when we do have Plan A, it'll be communicated thoroughly, and then we'll also understand that should X, Y, or Z happen, we'll go to Plan B and Plan C, and you might have a plan for every letter of the alphabet, Clint. I don't know. I mean, this is new for all of us, right? And the other thing, of course, I'm confident in the amount of smart people we have in this country. Somebody's going to create that vaccine for this, and we'll be able to eradicate it. And then, my hope is a year from now, it's back to business as usual. But for right now, like you said, there's a lot of work that has to be done. I trust in the school board. I trust in folks like yourself to make the right decision. But again, to your point, as a parent, you've given us options, right? So if we feel like an option for online learning or homeschooling is best, you're entitled to do so, right? If that's best for you. I love the comment about the staff that may be at risk. I didn't even really consider that. Of course, they have to be thought of. So, I guess people just need to understand that there's work happening every single day. Nobody's just waiting, right? Everybody's meeting and gathering online to have these conversations, and we want to be able to have the best plan in place to start. And I'm with you. I think my kids, my oldest son has sensory processing disorder. He thrives in a classroom, and the support that he has at McKinley and the built-in ways that he can kind of, maybe if he needs to get out of the classroom for a minute to burn some energy, he can do that. And each kid learns differently. I get that. I guess the best thing for people to do, you have a great resource, the Return to Learn website that's out there, Muscatine Community School District Facebook page, and then the website. So that will be the biggest component, Clint, is that communication piece. So that when we do have that Plan A, it can get disseminated to as many people as possible, right? That could be a challenge, but there are ways to do it, right?
And, again, I would say our absolute mission every day, whether we're a typical year or in times like these, is the highest level of learning possible for every single student, right? And the second piece of that is safety, right, for our students and for our staff. And as we talk about this plan, It's also important for people to know that I'm sending my own kids into this environment
Correct.
as well. So I'll have an 8th grader and a 10th grader. So I'm thinking about that as a parent and a professional. And again, and doing the best that we can for all students and for our staff. And again, I think as I started with, this is a community event, right? And it's going to be in collaboration with our community to determine how well this works for us.
Sure.
And how long we're able to stay as face-to-face.
And I think the good news for you with Muscatine, there's a lot of support, both from obviously parents, but then industry, and everybody wants the best because we're hedging our bets on our kids, right? They're going to be the next superintendents. They're going to be our next leaders. So we want to have them set up for success. I admired your graduation rate in Minnesota. What was it, like 96%?
It's high.
So that's something that we definitely can work on to improve for Muscatine. So I feel like we've definitely got the right guy for the job. And yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, we're just sitting here talking about school starting and there's no pandemic, but we've all had to
Absolutely.
adapt on the fly, and I feel like it's going to get better. And I hope for people that are watching, they trust in yourself and the board. And yeah, I mean, I think my wife would agree when I say we're ready to get the kids out of the house as safely as possible.
Yes.
We don't know. What do I need to buy? Another trampoline for my backyard? I mean, I feel like they have all this energy, Clint. I don't know what to do. But I also, I like how you can empathize with folks like myself that has a child that learns differently. You mentioned your daughter learns differently, and that is a perspective that maybe you don't find that often in superintendents. And someone that has a child that needs maybe a little bit extra help, and by the way, is going to be in the school system. So that I know that has to have a special place in your heart, wanting to make sure that our special ed programs are strong, our programs for kids that, like I said, maybe just need a minute. So I was happy to hear you share that when you did, and you did this morning. All right, is there anything that you feel like we need to mention as we wrap up? And guys, if we have that link for the Return to Learn website, let's put that up on the screen. I think I emailed it, but is there anything else that you want to mention?
Well, I would just say that this is a great district, and part of my job is to work with the board and our staff and the community to continue to make it even better. And there are a number of things, as you talk about graduation rates and things that we, again, to move all students. The great thing about our focus on the Return to Learn plan right now is that embedded in that is a lot of just great practice, right? Sure. Great instructional models, and so although it's helping us create a plan to bring kids back safely and staff back safely, it's also through some of the training and learning of staff is going to improve things that we would need to do anyway, right?
Good.
Those instructional improvements that I think will help move us forward in the future.
Yeah, and that's all we want, is to get back in one way or another and continue our kids on their path so that they can get the best education possible in Muscatine, go on to college or to work, and in best case, they stay in town, and that cycle can continue coming back through. I appreciate your time. I know that this is a tough thing to talk about, but this is the reality that we're in, right? And I hope that as we get closer to a more definitive plan, please come back.
Yeah,
if you want to nominate any of your school board members to come on, I'm sure Denny or Mike wouldn't mind, or Tammy. I know most of them, right? The Facebook page is right there. The school district website, the Return to Learn website is out there. And the information is just going to continue to be sent out because that's what we need to do. And the thing that I come back to is, this show right now is streaming on Facebook. There's 57 people watching. We all are creatures of, I need to know now. I want to know now. I mean, I can check what the weather's going to be like in 2 seconds. And back in the day, maybe you had to pick up a newspaper. You had to watch the news at 5 or 6 or 10 o'clock. We have such access to information all the time that when something like this happens, it really tests our patience. Yeah. And admittedly, I'm not the most patient person. So I'm really trying, in a lot of ways, to exercise that grace and patience. And none of us like when things are out of our control. right? And this pandemic, it's just that, right? It is out of our control. It's thrown off our routine. It's sent our kids home, and we're just trying to navigate the waters to get back to having them in a classroom or having them in front of a laptop. So I'm just glad that I don't have to make the decision. So thank you for not asking me to make the decision, Clint.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
And I would, I would just say our goal is to have that, that final recommendation out next week, late next week, and with a lot of communication to follow. We know the more we can get that out there and answer questions and again, put our parents in a position to make the best decision possible and really have an understanding of what that's going to look like and how that might look different from this past spring or from a typical year. So again, more to come, and happy to come back anytime. And
listen, if you want the kids to start earlier, we're happy to send them. I mean, my wife right now is at my house with an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an almost 2-year-old. And she would say, we'll drop them off at this moment, and they can just run around the gym or whatever they need to do. Maybe
it's been a long road for parents, for sure.
It's been tough. Thank you again for your time. I appreciate it very much. I'm happy to have you and your family in town. I hope that you get to experience, like I have in the 8 years that I've been here, all the good things that are in Muscatine. You didn't grow up too far from the area, but now you have a very unique perspective and a lot of responsibility, and I feel like you're very well equipped for the job, and we're so happy to have you here. So thank you again, Clint.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, let's go to the CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam. That is Mr. Clint Christopher, Superintendent, Muscatine Community School District. Return to Learn plan. More details soon. Please be understanding. Please let these people do their job. They are working hard for you, parents. I'm talking to you, teachers, our school board members are going to make a good decision, and we're going to get our kids ready for school. What does school look like? We'll learn very soon, and I know, like I said, I'm excited to get my kids out of the house a little bit, as long as it's safe, and it will be safe. All right, listen, we've got breakfast right there. That looks good, doesn't it? $5 breakfast special. Thank you again. I appreciate it, sir. Every day in the restaurant here at the Market Grill Express, you can come in and have breakfast for $5. You could even get a rose, right? We've got a dozen roses for $10, so don't forget that. That's a good deal going on. And the guys must be after my own heart. They've got a Diet Dr. Pepper in the background. That's what I'm talking about. A Diet Dr. Pepper sounds really good. Got to be ice cold, though, right? You can't have a warm Diet Dr. Pepper. That would be not good. All right, so breakfast in the Market Grill Express, lunch, dinner in the Market Grill Express. So many great things for you to experience here. We're open for business. Just got those new Pepsi machines in. They look really good. And we would love to have you here while the show is going on. I mean, I'm telling you, watching this show and having breakfast, it just seems like a great idea. All right, our next guests are getting situated, and I have to say, and I'm glad Chris is moving those plants, because Paul's shirt is unbelievable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Lefty and the Spinners, 2 members in the house. Our friend Paul Elsoff is here. Wayne Stewart is here. Lefty and the Spinners celebrating their 50th anniversary, and a big concert coming up this Friday. It's great to have you guys here, and I'm going to wait till we get this camera pulled up, but Paul's shirt is literally the entire Lefty. Is it the history of the band?
It is. Pictures
Wow.
from day one.
Yeah.
It is, sir.
Holy moly.
Thank you for your welcome. Wayne
Yeah.
and I are both glad to be here with you, sir.
I'm so excited to have you guys here. Wayne's first time on the show.
Yes.
Paul, no stranger. How are you, Wayne?
Doing good, Tony. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. So, I feel like Paul was here a couple times ago. We were talking about 50th anniversary. We were talking about doing some dates. Then the world changes. But we're here to tell people that are watching that this Friday, tomorrow, Lefty and the Spinners playing at Arden Creek.
Correct.
Are you excited for the show, gentlemen?
We are pumped.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I was going to say, this is going to be an awesome evening.
We not to interrupt. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
no,
but
go ahead.
we have not been able to perform since February.
Oh my
Down at the Armory
Yeah.
for the Fruitland Lions
Yeah.
Club Memorial Benefit.
Wow.
because everything else just fell out of place with the virus and the warnings and so forth, and cancellations that we had for other events.
So this 50th anniversary, and Chris, the only thing, can we drop Clint's title off the screen if we got Wayne's one? Let's pop that up. 50 years, a celebration, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all of these plans. Why did the pandemic have to happen to Lefty and the Spinners this year, guys?
This year.
I don't understand. I mean, why? You had all of these dates. It was going to be, and that's why I'm so happy the Arden Creek show is still coming up tomorrow. You can see Paul and Wayne. But I mean, what are you going to do, right? It's out of our control, isn't it?
It is, and for the remainder of this year, Tony, we only have one other potential event, and we're waiting on a final decision, and that will be another show down at the Armory for the Fruitland Lions Club.
Holy moly!
For the Veterans Memorial. Funding has been kind of strictly cut through the Lions Club nationally, and so there's no funds available, and so we're waiting on a final decision. That is set for October 24th.
Okay. So 10-12. Wow, how about that? How about the irony there? 7-24 and 10-24.
Correct.
Wayne, I want to ask you, because I don't know the answer. Can you give us your role with the band, your experience over the years, folks? Again, tomorrow night, Arden Creek. You can see Lefty and the Spinners. But go ahead, Wayne.
Well, I started in the 70s, in the early 70s. Was asked to play guitar from Lefty. Lefty worked at Woolworths. And so at that time it was three other guys: Bob Guy, Paul Elsoff, and Scott Hendricks, or Lefty Hendricks, and me. So we started out. But anyway, then as we progressed, things changed. I mean, change is inevitable anyway, but to try to keep the same members, to me, band's always been like a marriage. I mean, not a bad marriage. but anyway.
Oh, Wayne, how many musicians are going to hear that and just go, you know what, this guy is absolutely right? Isn't that true? You're with people a lot of time away. You're away from your family. The band has to be a family. There's gonna be
and people come and go in different bands. I mean, that's their thing, but not mine so much. And I'm lucky to have gotten with these fellows. So
it's such an incredible story, and to have this show happening tomorrow and October 24th. I want people to come out. I know that the turnout for the show at the Salvation Army was incredible. The show at the Armory was very well received. This is a band that people in the area have grown up with.
Correct.
That have seen maybe different alliterations, have seen in different settings.
We have performed for wedding receptions.
Wow.
Then we performed for their anniversaries.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then we performed for their children's wedding receptions.
It's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. So the show, the show tomorrow, I'm going to ask this question and then I want to get a little bit to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The show tomorrow night, Arden Creek, bring a chair, bring a blanket, pop a squat. It's a great venue, outdoors. Diane Furlong and the late Mike Furlong have such a fantastic venue. We actually have a Hy-Vee party on Sunday. So go to that show. What will the lineup look like tomorrow is my question. So obviously Paul and Wayne will be there. Who else will be in Lefty and the Spinners tomorrow?
Well, firstly, it's 6 to 9 p.m.
Perfect.
The performance period. We'll start right at 6 and just play 3 good sets tomorrow evening. And we're watching the weather forecast. Right now it's a very good forecast.
Good.
It's going to be under 90 degrees with very low humidity.
Perfect.
Light breeze, so we want to make sure everybody is not afraid to come to an outdoor event. They do advantage to you measured out seating.
Yes, they have.
They mark blocks off in the grass, so you can maintain distancing without even having to try.
Right.
They've done it for you out there. But tomorrow night will be Wayne and myself. the original Scott Lefty Hendricks that actually started the band 50 years ago in 1970 at Muscatine Community College. And then Mike Seawright, who joined us in 1978. So we're all the 70s era members of the band.
Super cool.
There are 8 of us total that were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And if I could, just take a moment. Bob Guy had come back and joined us and played the Salvation Army event with us. But he has some family illness and he's needed away and cannot make the commitment. Longtime guitarist Park McConaughey was with us for years, and then a drummer that took my place over the last of the years of the band is Beth Hecht Van Zandt, who everybody knows.
Yep.
And we lost our dear friend Bob Eichelberger in 2011. The band had quasi-retired in 2008, and he came down ill, and we lost him in 2011, a number of years ago. So we do a little honorarium for him while we're performing.
Best, right?
You got it, yes.
Yeah. So All Bob's Best
It's
was
part of that.
Yeah. But so as you're playing, you recognize.
Yeah, we got a song or two that we will do to honor Bob.
Well, Wayne said he was going to give me the set list, but now I don't feel like I can ask because it's a surprise. Wayne was prepared to give it to us. But I want to ask about that, and that's kind of a nerdy question, but I'm a music guy. What can people expect tomorrow night, 6 to 9, Arden Creek, or in October? What do we got on the set list? Give us a sample.
Well, we have the Beatles, we have the Beach Boys, we have some of the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s bands. We jump up and do one by Glenn Frey of the Eagles.
Fantastic.
We do Stormy, can't speak,
awesome.
by the Classics 4, Dennis Yost and the Classics 4. But we have a number of songs, New Colony 6, Del Shannon, Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Yes.
But we try to mix it up, and we try to play a little bit of everything for people. We do an Eddie Rabbitt song.
Yes. I played Eddie Rabbitt at a wedding I DJ'd.
Well, those were crossover songs.
Those are great songs.
They were on the pop charts. Not to interrupt Wayne, but every song that we do was in the Billboard Top 100, Billboard Top 40, or Billboard Top 10. Every single song that we do for this 3-hour block.
So you're recognizable, to say the least, for folks that are going to come out.
Everyone will have heard all of these songs played on the radio or that they bought themselves and had and enjoyed.
Del Shannon's right up my alley.
Run Away.
I tell you what, that's the best part about growing up in the Chicago area was my dad and my mom both flipping through the dial. And then we have, and I hate to say it like this, we have a 60s station that's programmed because my boss, Matt, loves the 60s.
You said that last interview,
and he often sings along to the songs, and it's great because you know all of them. The Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a big deal, and there was a big push to make it happen. And it happens, and then the ceremony is delayed.
Yes.
So where are we at with that, guys? It was supposed to happen this summer, correct? And then it's been pushed to next year, or what?
Yes, sir. It's officially the ceremonial event is Labor Day weekend every year.
Right. Okay.
And that, out of their decisions and worries about the virus and the county that they're in, was struck exceptionally hard with the virus. And so they opted to move it to Memorial Day weekend of 2011, and then have their regular ceremony for 2011 on the regular Labor Day next year.
Perfect.
So
how did it feel when that decision came out? That I can now say, Paul Elsoff, Wayne Stewart, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members. That's nobody. Listen, guys, I don't have that. That's a heck of a distinction. Has it sunk in yet? Do you feel like it would have with the ceremony? How was the feeling with it?
I think it would have been cemented in.
Yeah.
Had we gone to the ceremony.
Correct.
We are inducted. It's official. That announcement came out January 7th of 2020. That was the official press release for the whole state. And yeah, we love the fact that we're the next Eastern Iowa band to have that honor, and it feels really good. And this whole reunion thing started because of that beginning, you know, things being put together last year when we were first nominated for it. It's a long, long process that they have to go through. The nomination came in, and then of course Dr. Bark had his Sycamore Street event, Shop with a Cop program to benefit that. And that was supposed to be all we were going to do.
It was like a one-off,
That didn't happen.
Yeah, they kept pulling. They kept pulling back, right? Pulling you back in. Wayne, how often, you know, Wayne, the show's tomorrow again, Arden Creek, 6 to 9, Lefty and the Spinners. Are we rehearsing this week, or?
Oh, we've been, well, individually and as the group, we've been hitting it hard a couple times a week.
Twice a week.
Yeah, 4 hours per day that we practice. And like I say, it's sorry, but it doesn't pay to get old.
4 hours rehearsing.
Twice a week.
So the goal is to be tight and precise.
Oh yeah,
you hit it right there. The tightness, the vocal tightness, and the harmonies, and the
and we're not out to
instrument.
disappoint. We want.
Well, and listen, you've played. I mean, these shows that you've been able to do have been, like I said, well attended. Salvation
Very
Army
well.
was packed.
Yes.
The Armory was packed, and by all accounts, tomorrow night will be packed. So the question I have is the nerves. Is it a thing? 50 years later?
I have a little bit about tomorrow. I'll be honest. I'm a little nervous because we had some logistical things to work out with Diane.
Sure.
So we were on the phone 2 nights ago, and she said the only other time she's had this many calls was when Ragbri was a stop out there. And she's not sure what's coming.
Yeah.
She says, I think the whole city of Muscatine's coming.
Isn't that fantastic?
It is.
And you know, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say out of. So Diane last year asked me, I don't know when it was before the pandemic. Diane had asked me, would I ever want to DJ at Arden Creek? And I said, no way. I said, no way. Not that I wouldn't. I said, no way. You need to book Lefty and the Spinners. I said, they're doing a couple of shows with this 50th anniversary. This was pre-pandemic. Yes. And I'm like, I could show up and play 50s, 60s, and 70s. Or you could have Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. And I was so happy to just help make that connection because I knew, selfishly, I want to see it, right? But I'm not the only one. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that she's had that many phone calls.
Yes.
Only since Ragbri, which is thousands of bicyclists.
They estimated 5,000 people for that.
Holy.
But
this is Woodstock, guys.
She just stressed that the number of calls is up over everything else that she's had.
Holy moly.
They another band that they had once last year, she said, had a very highly attended show.
Yeah.
But she kind of started me worrying when she said her phone is melting over Friday night.
You know what? I'm happy to hear it. And to your point, Paul, Diane they've got it social distanced out. It's safe. It's outside.
It is.
It's a beautiful setting.
The weather's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm so happy that you got... Wayne, can I ask, did you say no to the shirt? Did Paul say, Wayne, I've got a shirt you should have? What do you have one in the closet?
Well, he told me, if he would have told me, it was a last-minute decision on his part. I've got the shirt.
You have the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
My wife, who is the band mom, who donated her
family
room.
Yeah, let's clarify that right now.
For this
if we didn't have the band mom, I think we'd be up a creek.
The last year and a half, she gave up her family room, and it's full of our band equipment where we rehearse twice a week.
Remarkable.
She took all of these photos that a lot of these Beth Van Hecht, Van Zandt, took, And so she made a collage and found a company that could do this.
Yeah.
And she ordered them. There we are.
There it is.
That's the photo collage.
Look at that.
And she ordered them for all the members of the band. And this was a last minute decision this morning. I just went with it.
I mean, the obvious follow-up question is, are there matching pants? Is it a full ensemble?
No.
I'm sorry for that. I just assumed that maybe tomorrow everybody would be in full garb. But maybe it's not as breathable.
I'm not even sure if everyone's going to wear this. We primarily got these for the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Of course, yeah.
And
it's fantastic. It is really something. All right, so I feel like I want to ask this as well because, and there's the article on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, we can go back to that for a second. So we mentioned this Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Delayed until next year, 2021, which is unfortunate, but we want to be able to have it. We want people to be safe. And again, Lefty and the Spinners in it, inducted. But the ceremony is just, I mean, the surf is legendary. We want to have it happen. I know you guys are excited. We'll get there. I want to ask, tomorrow, 24th, October 24th, people might say, well, what if I was going to do a show New Year's Eve? Would Lefty and the Spinners entertain New Year's Eve show? Would Lefty and the Spinners entertain a November show? These guys are looking at me like, what are you, our booking agent? And I'm not. I'm just saying, because some of the shows were canceled because of this pandemic, and people want to see Lefty and the Spinners. You got two chances.
I will say that we owe you a debt of gratitude for this event.
Thank you.
Making the hookup.
Thank you so much.
Because you swapped numbers with Diane and myself to hook us up, and that's how this was initiated. So we appreciate that. We've been asked about some other things, but everything is just pending right now.
So that's not a no.
Oh, it's definitely not a no.
Okay.
We have pretty much decided to continue now.
Oh, that's a hot take. So Lefty and the Spinners, that's news.
That's news.
Wayne, we're not slowing down. This is going to go on. I thought this was...
Well, we got to keep pushing the envelope. I mean, that's the...
This is exciting.
You got to... I mean, this has been kind of a... Somebody lit a fire.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a rebirth. It's... the old family's back.
Yes.
I was going to say.
Yep. I want to get out there and play, and we have like I say, we've had great times over the years.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well,
I want to keep at it.
It looks different, right? You've experienced so much, but to still have good relationships. Sure, there's trying times. Everybody has it, but now to understand, because it almost transcends. It's almost like, no, people want to see Lefty and the Spinners. Of course, you have to want to do it, and you have to make the music.
Right.
But you kind of have to feel that as well, right? The public in the area and the surrounding areas are like, no, we want to see these guys. That has to feel really good.
Well, the other side of it is the current situation. People are ready to get out.
Yes.
And that's driving a lot of this, you know. There are businesses, Diane told me on the phone, there are businesses in town that are bringing groups of their employees and customers out Friday night.
Holy moly.
So it's got a complete potential to be a...
I would just name the next wine Lefty and the Spinners. I mean, that's right. I mean, it's either that or the Tony Tone wine.
Yeah, there you go.
I bought enough Arden Creek. I always would tell Mike, I miss Mike. I would always tell Mike when I saw him, I'm ready for my stock option because I bought so much Red 52.
Right.
Let's keep that on the screen, guys. This is what we're talking about. Music in the Vineyard. It's magical. It's magical listening to music at Arden Creek. I've had great experiences there. I will listen to this. I will be there tomorrow with 3 kids.
Oh, you are coming?
Well, my wife has to work overnight, so I will be there with 3 kids, and I'm going to bring my mom.
Well, that's important. Kids are welcome.
Yes.
And free.
Yes. It's family friendly.
Yeah, this is family friendly event. When we performed for the Legion Fund Drive at the Armory, there were all kinds of kids right down front of the band.
Yeah, well, actually, they are our fans.
Isn't that cool, though? And whether they know the songs or not, it's on the parents, by the way, to expose them to good music. Right? I try my best, trust me. But there's something about live music, and it could be the spark. You never know.
could.
My 8-year-old could take away from that show. I want to play the drums. I want to play the bass. I want to play the guitar. Now, I'd be okay if he didn't want to play the drums. They're a little loud, no offense. But you never know who you're going to inspire.
Exactly.
While you're performing, while you're doing something that you love and that you've been doing for 50 years. It's a big deal.
I've been reiterating to these other gentlemen that people are coming out because now they're expecting to hear a Hall of Fame band.
Oh boy, that's right.
And that's what has driven 2-day-a-week rehearsals, 4 hours a pop. And the other element is we're trying to make this as professional as we can.
Yeah.
And therefore we have hired a professional sound production company from right here in Muscatine, Ritchie Sound and Lights.
Good choice. Mike's a good guy.
Total professional.
Yeah.
Knows everything inside and out. And besides that, he knows our set list.
I was going to say, it makes it, yeah, well, and listen, there is something about a good sound man is worth their weight in gold. I am so happy that you guys are here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Wayne, thank you for coming on. I know that this is, maybe you're not used to doing, certainly nobody does interviews in a grocery store's restaurant, so that's a unique setting, but I appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you.
It's great to see you, Paul. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
I'm so happy that we stay in touch, and I am thrilled to be able to say that Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Lefty and the Spinners, will continue into 2021 and beyond. That's really great.
As of now, that's the news.
That's the news. Wow, I wasn't prepared for news this morning. I go from...
You got the exclusive.
Oh, that's great. I got we have the new superintendent, and then we have the exclusive news on Lefty and the Spinners. This is marvelous. Tomorrow night, Arden Creek, 6 till 9 p.m. If you can't make it, your next opportunity is also on the 24th of October.
Correct.
Which is a Saturday.
Yes.
I know that because I have a wedding to DJ. Sorry, guys. Unless I cancel the wedding. Let's just cancel the wedding and go Lefty and the Spinners. The show in October at the Armory.
Again, down at
supporting
the Muscatine Airport.
Fruitland Lions
The
and
Lions
the All
Club
Veterans Memorial.
doing the All Veterans Memorial
Okay.
fundraiser. They're still driving to cap that fund.
I feel like I saw something on Facebook. They are short about $8,200. Does that sound right?
Just a
Something like
little
that?
bit more than that.
Okay.
But yeah,
So-
it's very close.
The All Veterans Memorial in Fruitland.
Yes.
If you can donate, please consider doing it. It's going to be an awesome tribute. And that's it. All right. That's outstanding. So I'm happy to be able to say that we'll have more conversations with the fellas from Lefty and the Spinners because this
Hope to, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again. We'll see you tomorrow night. Arden Creek, Lefty and the Spinners, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall
6
of Famers.
p.m.
6 p.m. Be there. And you can social distance. Dance, by the way. Wayne said he'd prefer if I didn't dance. And I was like, Wayne, you don't know I got moves. And Wayne said, keep it in the square in the grass, pal.
Well,
Yeah.
I will apologize for not color coordinating like you and the superintendent
Oh,
did.
I'm sorry. Well, Paul, if you would have told me, I would have worn my... You don't know I could have my Lefty and the Spinner socks on. This could be...
I could have brought you one.
I would not be opposed. This could be the next thing, is the merchandise line.
There we go.
People are going to be asking for socks and bathing suits and
We're going to need a merch
neckties.
manager.
You are. Well, I would like to nominate Chris and Brad. Would love to do that for you. I'll just help book the shows.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
go to the CVI Bank and Trust aisle cam. And please go see Lefty and the Spinners. Scott's got to come on the show one of these days.
Yes, he's reluctant.
I know he is.
He is.
And that's okay.
I'd like to thank your professional studio production staff here, by the
Yes,
way.
thank
Oh,
you
they're
so
fantastic.
They
right?
do fantastic shows.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
I have it made, don't I?
You do.
I
much.
just,
you're
spoiled,
spoiled.
Tony. Yeah,
why
you're
am I
spoiled.
spoiled? I have to book it, and then I have to not look like a total
You guys
schmuck.
are just too nice to him.
Oh boy! All right. Well, the show's tomorrow at Arden Creek, 6 o'clock. Go see.
All right.
All right. Let's go.
Thank
to
you all.
Thank you.
I mean, booking the show is tough, right? You got to email people. You got to call them. It's easy to book Paul. I just sent him a Facebook message. It couldn't be easier. All right. I got to tell you, this is how I would like the show to go, is to have three outstanding guests back to back is just great. So, all right, if you're just joining us, it's the 23rd of July. You got to rewind this show because you just missed Paul Elsoff and Wayne Stewart with Lefty and the Spinners. Before they were here, Mr. Clint Christopher, the new superintendent with Muscatine Community School District, was here, and a lot of good information has been presented on the show. The 23rd of July is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. And I would be remiss if I didn't show y'all that I've got a big old pail of vanilla ice cream. I just like the attention to detail. Chris Anderson has a container of ice to my left, and we've got the ice cream literally chilling. So Vanilla Ice Cream Day is today. Today is also National Refreshment Day. So we've got several options for refreshments. I'll show you my Starbucks is an option for a refreshment, which I've drank already, of course, right? I've got some other refreshments. Is this a box wine? I don't know what this is. No, it's a new item? Oh, this was on Shark Tank. Interesting. So I'm going to put these here. That's great. Chris knows more about this stuff than I do. That's okay with me, everybody. This is called Beatbox. It is like a cocktail in a box. That's what I'm going to say. It's a cocktail in a box. It is 11% alcohol, so please have it in moderation. And maybe that's part of your refreshment day. Other options for refreshment day, we've got a little Perrier. Is that how you say that? You can tell that I don't drink fancy water. Perrier? Brad, you look like a Perrier guy. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Here's some stuff I have had, a little Bolt House Farms action, right? Oh, look at that. Chris got my keto one, or Brad did. And then this has less sugar. This is very good, by the way. I've had this one right here. This is good stuff. I like the Bolt House Farms. I also like the Naked Juice. It's kind of fun name to say. And it's National Refreshment Day. And then also we've got, of course, some ginger beer. If you're going to make like a Moscow Mule, which is always refreshing. For a limited time, we still have the 5 Cities Bikini Bottom, which is not going to be around much longer. It is a pineapple wheat beer made in the Quad Cities. Very good. Total summer beer, right? Very crisp, easy to drink. We've got a little pineapple juice, right? Set that there. And then this I got to tell you, man, right there. That is Tony Tone childhood, this right here. This is Lake Michigan on my dad's boat, fishing, which I don't like, but whatever. I like being on the water. My dad's had a boat, Diversey Harbor, right near Lincoln Park Zoo. It was deli sandwiches, and it was squirt, and then the old school Miller Lite cans and bottles for my dad, in moderation. But that's my summer. Like if I open this, and there's a lot of sugar in this, so I'd go diet squirt. But if I open this, just the smell, you get those memories, right? Instantly taken to Lake Michigan, on the boat, cruising. Love that. That's squirt right there. And then a couple more options for National Refreshment Day. You've got Angry Orchard, right? And then you've got a little tea action right there. So there you go. So just a couple more options for National Refreshment Day, okay? And then it's also National, did you see this one, Chris? National Gorgeous Grandma Day. This card right here. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. So, if you've watched this show or if you've read any of my columns, I've spoken about the important roles that my grandmas played in my life, both of them, Grandma Babe, Catherine, which is my daughter's middle name, Catherine, and then my mom's mom, Margaret, Grandma Marge. So this says a glamma is just like a grandma, only more fabulous, right? So I got the utmost respect for grandmas everywhere. My mom is now a grandma, and my mom is an awesome grandma. My mother-in-law, Kim, is a grandma, and she's an awesome grandma. So happy National Gorgeous Grandma Day. That's fantastic. Good job, guys. And then this looks, is this Chris? Is this you?
Well, I got that from Queen.
Oh, that's cool. This is from the mural at the Muskie Early Learning Center, formerly known as Colorado School. So that's cool. Look at that. So we're supposed to give this to Clint? We'll get it to him. This is super cool. So Chris did a mural with Rotary at the Muskie Early Learning Center. Man, my fingernails look terrible. Let me hide them. Yeet. There we go. That's better. And that's great. So again, if you just joined the show, like my boss, Matt Schweitzer, you got to rewind it. And we had a great conversation with Mr. Clint Christopher. I don't really get nervous that often doing this show. I don't. I've done it for a while. But when you talk to someone for the first time, like Clint Christopher, who is the new superintendent, I was nervous, I'll tell you that. And I thought it went really well, and I'm happy to have him in town. And I know, you're giving me the what's in the box signal. I didn't want, it's not that I didn't think Clint would have done it. But I was like, I didn't want him to feel like for the first, you know what I'm saying? Like it's already a thing to do an interview for the first time with someone you don't really know, which was what just happened. So I was like, I'll save the what's in the box. I'll be selfish. All right. So if you missed the start of the show, Mr. Clint Christopher, new superintendent, Muscatine Community School District, was here. And then we had a fantastic conversation with Paul Elshoff and Wayne Stewart with Lefty and the Spinners, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members, playing Arden Creek tomorrow. And the news from Lefty and the Spinners, they are continuing on. All right, Toyota Muscatine. What's in the box? Toyota Muscatine. I got to send you a picture. They did something cool yesterday. But I'll stop talking. Hands in. Open hearts. Toyota Muscatine. What's in the... Oh, man. I don't know. I am not... Okay. Toyota Muscatine. What's in the box? No pressure. No pressure. There's only millions of people watching. Is it something in a package? It is. Okay. Whew. All right. Is it something to do with one of the national days? No. Okay. I can feel the thing that holds it in place. Can I have a clue? Our guest. Oh, it has something to do with education? Yes. Is it a small notebook? No. Is it I don't want to break it. Is it feels soft. Is it like tape? No. Tool. Is it erasers? No. I quit. It's a calculator. It's a calculator? It doesn't feel like a calculator. Now it feels like a calculator. I should have done this move. It's a calculator, everybody. Dang it. Wow, I could have kept going. I'll never forget when I had to get a TI-83 calculator, and it was $100, and I had to get it in high school, and then I put Tetris on it. Sorry, Mom. I did. I don't know. I mean, if anything, I'm honest. What do you want from me? I'm an honest person. I had Tetris on my calculator. Okay, so let's rapid fire mention some things. Oh, I got to send you this. No, I want to send you this Toyota Muscatine. I don't know if I saved it or if I just shared it. Are we able to go to their Facebook page? Or can we do that? Or I can maybe get it as well. Stand by. Toyota Muscatine did something really cool yesterday. Yeah, or if you go to my Facebook page, it's like the second post down. They donated $5,000 to support youth baseball in Muscatine with the Muscatine Muskie Baseball Academy. It was a super cool maneuver. I just took a screenshot, and I can airdrop this as well. So our friend Frank at Toyota Muscatine shared this, and I was super impressed with that. Toyota Muscatine has also, over the years, donated to the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter, and now they've stepped up to the plate, pun intended, and they have helped out with Muskie baseball. So that should be coming in the old airdrop. There we go. And we'll show you this. Check that out. $5,000 donated for Muskie baseball. And check it out. Look at that. Toyota Muscatine Classic this weekend. Pretty cool. Chris, you zoom in a little bit. You'll see some baseball players. You'll see Jimmy Greenhaw. You'll see Logan. And you'll see who is in there? Whitney Phelps is in there. And Jen and the Cologne fam. So that's really cool. I was really happy to see that, and a shout out to them for doing that and supporting the young people. All right, I just was looking at my phone to see if there were any comments I didn't see, and I think we're okay. All right, let's go to the local ad, guys, if we have that has the Baking for a Cause, that has the Chinese dinner for four, and a whole bunch of other things on it. This is on the back page of the Discover Muscatine newspaper. It's right there. And here you go. So let's start at the top. We'll do a little pinch and zoom. We've got dinner for four. Excuse me. I was trying to fight that hiccup the whole time. I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all. I couldn't fight that hiccup any longer. Chalk that up as the second time that's happened on this show. All right. Dinner for four. You know how hard it is to talk for this long? I've been talking for an hour and 6 minutes. Anyways, dinner for four, $19.99. I'm so parched. Baking for a Cause with the buns at the bakery. if you purchase a pack of Bakery Fresh hamburger buns, we are going to donate a loaf of bread to MCSA and the Salvation Army's food pantry. I'm waving at my friend Corey Doffelt, who's backing up outside. This is a great program. Want you to support MCSA and the Salvation Army. We've also got awesome deals in the kitchen. When you buy ribs, you can get a salad. When you buy Deluso chicken or turkey, you can get some cheese. And when you buy 2 calzones, we're going to give you 2 breadsticks. Below that, we're talking about the shingle shot. We're talking about breakfast with a fuel saver. I'm going really fast. You're fine. And then at the bottom of that, we're teasing the deal coming up on Monday. So that's on the back page of the Discover Muscatine newspaper. I hope you'll check that out. And even better than that, I'd love to see you here in the store. This drink I got has cinnamon in it. I think the cinnamon is getting to me. Hey, roses for $10. Did you hear what I said? Roses for $10. A dozen roses for $10 at the floral shop. As you can see, through August 4th, in a variety of colors. You could get, remember what I told you yesterday? You could get 24 roses, 2 dozen roses for $20. Brad's going to show you. We got some roses behind me on the bar. They look fantastic. Mix and match. Awesome display by the salad bar. And we want you to pick up roses. There you go. Look at that. There's roses right there. Boom. Ooh, they're glowing. Are those glow-in-the-dark roses? What? They're not. It's a little camera trick. But those look good. And then look at that display. Come on, that looks amazing. So please, 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 please pick up some roses for the one you love. And then we have a little bit of rose plants, right? We got a little rose plant action right here on the set. So if this is more your style, I don't know if those are $10, but those look great. Look at that. Look at how they're blooming. Absolutely fantastic. A dozen roses for $10. I told you I'm probably going to get my wife 2, 3, 4 dozen. And listen, if you're thinking your significant other doesn't like flowers, donate $10 and let us deliver a dozen roses to places like Lutheran Living Senior Campus or Sunnybrook, right? We'll brighten someone's day on your behalf if you'll have it. We've done this over the years, and we'd love nothing more than to be able to take roses to places like Lutheran Living Senior Campus. It's a great deal. All right, we have those Muskie, L&M, and Wilton face masks, the face masks with the logo for the schools on them. As I mentioned, the guest this morning at the start of the show was the brand new superintendent for Muscatine Community School District, Mr. Clint Christopher. So this is in aisle 6 at the store. You can pick them up. They're $7.99 each while supplies last. We have quite a few of the Muscatine ones. We have a decent amount of the L&M ones and of the Wilton ones, but they'll go quick and don't miss out. Those are in aisle number 6. Contact-free options in the pharmacy. So if you don't want to make contact, we can take care of you. Delivery, drive-through, curbside, ship to home, and coming soon, drive-through flu shots. That's kind of like the next evolution with pharmacy and HyVee, a drive-through flu shot clinic. We'll get you more details on that as we get closer to it. One-Step Products. Purchase One-Step Products and help the One-Step program, right? So let's feed America. HyVee partnering to end summer hunger with Feeding America. You purchase the products on the screen, and each item purchased equals 1 meal donated to a family in need. Isn't that great? I love it. It's fantastic. One of the many reasons to be proud of working for this company is the variety of ways that we continue to give back. It's great. I love it. If you're looking for lunch or dinner options, I can show you the specials for July. We've got breakfast, lunch, or dinner covered. I always show you the breakfast specials on the CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam look good. I think I'm just realizing that I didn't email the calendar. Did I? Did I send it? I don't think I did. I think I forgot to send it today. Listen, come and see us. I believe you get the fuel saver with any breakfast today. It's awesome, and our team is ready to take good care of you, okay? So that's fine. I didn't send it. It's okay. We'll show the breakfast. Look at that. $5 breakfast. Boom. Omelet, toast, hash browns, $5. That's a fantastic deal. And don't forget a Diet Dr. Pepper, just because it's my favorite. It's great. All right. I think that's going to be it. I wanted to say congrats, because if I'm not mistaken, with softball, we've got Muskie softball going to state. We've got L&M going to state. And I could have sworn I saw the Durant. softball was going to state. And if I'm misspeaking, I apologize. But we want to wish all those teams well. CBI Bank and Trust is going to supply those Muskie M face masks for the Muscatine team, which is very cool. And I thank Bob Howard and the team at CBI Bank and Trust for doing that. And we wish all those teams well. And certainly our intent would be to invite them on the show and to follow their journey to the state tournament. So I just wanted to mention that. And then for some reason, there's a dragon here. So there's a dragon, and I'm assuming it's just one of those things that Chris or Brad saw, and they thought Tony will have a comment on the dragon. The dragon hasn't missed too many meals, is what I'm saying. So, same dragon, very soft. Look at this guy, right? He looks, of course, I'm taking him out of the shot now. He looks great. Where's the dragon at? Certain aisle? He's just in floral. Oh, the dragon's in floral. Okay. There you go. And the best part about the dragon, so you just do this move, and then they're gone. It's a stuffed animal. It's fine. Right? Okay. We're going to get out of here. I think I've covered everything I want to. I want to thank our guests this morning. Great show, in my opinion. I'm biased, of course. Mr. Clint Christopher, Superintendent, Muscatine Community School District, probably his first in-depth interview. Really great to talk to him. Happy to have Clint and his family in town. He is the new superintendent, and yes, the next couple of days, weeks, we'll have a plan for back to school for Muscatine. Be patient, and let's support our school board members, and let's support Mr. Christopher and his team, and we all want the best for our kids, right? That's all we want, and we want them to be safe, and we want them to learn, and we'll keep you informed as we get more information. And then how about Paul Elsoff and Wayne Stewart, Lefty and the Spinners, 50th anniversary, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, tomorrow night, Arden Creek, 6 till 9. Go see them. Have a good time. And it was great to have those guys on the show. I am so tired of talking. We're going to get out of here. I'm running out of air. What do you want from me? It's National Refreshment. Oh, Matt's lurking in the background. Did you see him? I saw him. He's giving us the wrap-up signal, isn't he? All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Looking forward to it live at 8:30. Thanks to CBI Bank and Trust, Toyota Muscatine, and Lutheran Living Senior Campus. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
You're watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone.
Be very, very quiet while hunting wabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton this Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.